All right, let's get right into it. We've all got these incredibly powerful AI tools at our fingertips, right? But the real question is, are we actually using them to their full potential? I'm willing to bet most of us aren't. Today, we're going to talk about the one big mental shift that can totally transform the results you're getting.
So let me just ask you this, straight up. When you use an AI, are you thinking like a CEO, someone who sets a big picture vision, or are you acting more like an intern, just asking for little one-off tasks? The way you answer that question, well, it could be the difference between just getting by and gaining a serious edge. I want you to picture this for a second. Two people using the exact same AI tool. They could even be in the same room. But one of them is getting work back that is, and I mean this literally, 10 times better. This isn't just some made-up scenario. It's something I see happening all the time. Welcome to Smiling Cottage. And the reason I'm sharing this today is because this gap is something we can all close. Okay, so what does that actually look like? Well, the intern approach, you know the drill. You open up a new chat, you type, help me write an email, you copy, you paste, you close the window. And tomorrow, you start all over again from scratch. The CEO approach is a whole different ballgame. It's about building a system, an assistant that actually knows you. It knows your writing style, it knows your clients, it even knows the mistakes you've made in the past and want to avoid. Every time you talk to it, it gets a little bit smarter. And this is the result. We're not talking about a small improvement here. We're talking a 10-fold difference in the quality of the work, the speed you get it, and how relevant it is to you. It's an absolute game changer. And here's the crazy part. Closing that gap is way easier than you think once you know the secret. So let's use a metaphor that really makes this clear. Think about it. Are you treating your AI like a vending machine, or are you treating it like a steward? A vending machine is simple, right? You put a coin in, your prompt, and a product comes out. That's it. It has zero memory of you. There's no relationship. And it's never gonna get any better at knowing what you want. A steward, though, a steward works on compounding knowledge. You give them an objective, they learn how you like things done, they evolve based on your feedback, and the results just keep getting better and better over time. And this is the heart of the problem. If you've ever been frustrated with AI, if the answers feel kind of generic and not that helpful, it's probably because you're stuck in vending machine mode. You're completely missing out on its number one superpower, its ability to learn from you and grow with you. Now, this isn't just a clever little analogy I cooked up. There's actually a real, honest-to-goodness management theory behind this that explains exactly why the steward approach works so well. Let's take a look. So way back in 1991, these two guys, Donaldson and Davis, came up with something called Stewardship Theory. And the core insight is, well, it's pretty profound. It says that when you give people trust, you give them autonomy, and you give them clear goals, they will naturally act in your best interest. You don't have to stand over their shoulder and micromanage everything. Turns out, that exact same idea applies perfectly to how we should be working with AI. And this chart just lays it all out. That vending machine approach, it's what's called a principal agent model. You micromanage every single little instruction. And when you do that, you're using maybe 10% of what the AI can actually do. But with the stewardship model, you give it the big picture, you teach it your standards, and then you trust it. And that simple switch, that's how you unlock pretty darn close to 100% of its power. Okay, so we get the why. That's the easy part, but now let's get practical. How do you actually start delegating to your AI like a boss, like a true steward of your work? Just think about what you'd hire a human assistant to do. Gathering and organizing information for you, drafting up documents or reports, helping prepare materials for a meeting, even doing a first pass on editing something you've written. Your AI can handle all of this stuff, and honestly, it can probably do it faster and more accurately than you thought possible. And here's the playbook. It's a simple 4-step process. Number 1, you provide context. Tell it who you are, what you're working on. 2, you set the standards. Tell it what great looks like to you. 3, you give it examples of good work. And 4, and this is the most important one, you have to review what it does and give it feedback to help it get better. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds like a lot of work. But check this out. The very first time you train it on a task, let's say writing a weekly report, it might take you, 15 minutes to give it all that context and examples? But every single week after that, it'll take you maybe 5 seconds. You just say, write this week's report, and boom, you get a draft that's 80% done. That's an incredible return on your time. So let's talk about putting this into action, like today. It really all boils down to one last really crucial insight about what an AI actually is. This is it. This is the key. An AI is not just a simple automation. It's not a fixed, if this happens, then do that workflow. It has a brain. It can actually understand context. It can adjust on the fly. And most importantly, it remembers the feedback you give it. It learns. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means you have to start managing your AI like you'd manage a real person on your team. You've got to give it regular updates on what's going on, give it clear feedback on how it's doing, and yeah, give it a little room to grow and use its own judgment. A well-managed assistant becomes your single greatest point of leverage. Look, if you only take one single thing away from all of this, let it be this right here. The next time you start a chat with an AI, begin by telling it who you are, what you're working on, what your standards of quality are, and what kind of style you prefer. That simple act is the foundation for everything. It's how you turn that dumb vending machine into a brilliant steward. So, I'll leave you with this question. What's the one repetitive thing you do? Writing reports, answering emails, organizing notes, that you are going to train your AI on first. Just pick one and start today. All right, that's a wrap for this episode. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who needs it. This is Smiling Cottage. See you next time.